It's your boy James Ellsworth, the man to beat AJ Styles, not once, not twice, but three times the real winner of the first ever women's Money in the Bank ladder match. And you are listening to Not for the Weak. Duh.
Sexy sounds and top music.
With Boro Loach.
Live in the building.
Yo, DJ!
That's how we do it. You're in the mix.
You're in the mix with Not for the Weak Pod.
Welcome to commercial-free radio.
It's not radio, dumbass.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's make some noise.
On the track.
The show will begin
Bro, I respect your grind. I don't know, because my lighting is bad. I don't know if you remember. It was the big event last year when Rhea Ripley was there and Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
And I was sitting on the side being a fat back because I was just tired of standing around. And then you came up and you wanted to see Dennis Rodman. And I was there and you was like, where the fuck is Dennis Rodman? Did he leave? And I'm like, yeah, he just left. He was like a dickhead. You was like, oh, we just stood chopping it up for like 5-10 minutes and shit. So yeah, man, you was super cool back then.
Yeah,
I was
saw
actually
Dennis Rodman at WrestleCade, and yeah, he wasn't pleasant. So I mean,
he was a dickhead, man. I actually seen you a couple times, but yeah, that was the one time that we actually sat and just like we just talked. You was super, yo, dude, showed me mad love, bro. But like, I just appreciate you sitting there with me right now, bro. I'm discombobulated right now, but I just want to congratulate you on everything that you do, bro. You're a brilliant mind. You know, you didn't let the machine run over you. You didn't just become one of those guys and shit. You out here hustling, brother. So I appreciate you. I did some research on you, and I just love the fact that, like, with some of you guys, I could like really relate because I know that you are a student of the game. Like you really did your work. You know what I mean? Right. You did your work before you actually was on the scene. And when you was on the scene, God blessed you, brother. So yeah, man. I don't want to really make this an interview. We want like here on like Not for the Week, we like to like make shit like real natural and stuff like that. I don't really want to jump into the wrestling shit. I know you out there in Baltimore. You out there in Baltimore, man.
Yeah, man. That's born and raised.
Yeah, man. What's up, bro? What's up with them? What's up with them Ravens, man?
They like to beat themselves worse than a guy that can't get some. You know, like they beat themselves bad every year. Like nobody really beats them. They just beat themselves. It happens every year. It's crazy. It's so nuts.
How'd you feel about this year, though, man?
I feel like they were the better team on the field, and I just feel like when you turn the ball over 3 times and you only lose by 2, you got to look yourself in the mirror. I think they were the best. In the NFC, I think the Eagles were the best team, and the Eagles are in the Super Bowl, and they should be. I think they were absolutely the best team in the NFC, and I thought the Ravens were the best team in the AFC, and they just can't in the playoffs. They can't get out of their own way. I think the Eagles are going to take it for sure. I don't think they're going to have a problem with the Chiefs. I know that, the Chiefs get the calls and all this and that, but I don't think that's going to affect the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to beat them pretty significantly. So,
yeah, I mean, you really not facing Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City, right? It's like you're facing the referees and Taylor Swift.
Yeah, and I hate to be like one of the people that think that. But, I mean, in reality, when I'm watching the game against the Bills and I see Josh Allen pick up that first down on 4th down, and I see that, and the replay shows he got the first down, and the referee in the booth, the one that they have in the booth that always does analysis, he said, oh, yeah, he picked it up. And then, they go and they look at it and everything, and they say, oh, no, he didn't pick it up. I'm like, wait, no, he definitely picked it up. Like, it's right plain black and white. And I'm like, wow, yeah, they want Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl. That's what the people, she's a ratings grab, and, of course they want that. And Mahomes is great, and Kelsey's great, and they have a awesome Pacheco. The running back's really good. They got Juju Smith. They got Hollywood Brown. They got some good players on offense. They don't need the help, but I feel like without the help, they wouldn't have won that game, and they wouldn't be in the Super Bowl though. So
Exactly.
it sucks. It does.
Exactly. So like that's my thing, like, right? Because I've been watching, like, because like we do sports talk on here. Like we do a little bit of wrestling, we do a little bit of sports talk and rumors and gossip what's going on and shit, Diddy, all of that. Like we cover it all. But like we've been really going hard on the on the postseason, on the playoffs, and I've been watching, all of these plays and with Mahomes and the Texans and how like they don't care anymore. They don't care what it looks like to the viewers. Like they it doesn't. They're playing with our intelligence. It's not even that. They're
Yeah,
doing it
like
in plain sight.
common sense. He got the first down. Common sense shows you that he picked it
Yeah.
up. And
So
uh,
my thing is, I've been a wrestling fan my whole life, and my whole life has been like, why are you watching that? It's not a sport. It's fake.
oh, it's fun.
Now I feel like if you're watching football, it's not really a sport anymore. The shit is fake. I
No,
don't want to hear it no more.
I don't think it's fake. I think the guys are trying, but like it's not fake in the sense of
It's
they're not.
predetermined.
Yeah, they're trying to win. Every team's trying to win, but I think the referees are like they're being told like, hey, be a little lenient on the Chiefs if the game's close. If the game's
Yeah.
close, So in hindsight, you just have to blow the Chiefs out to beat them, and I feel like that's what the Eagles are going to do. I like the Eagles. The Commanders had no chance against the Eagles. It was like no, like
Man.
they stopped them, and for that team to be so much better than the teams they beat to get the Super Bowl, like I said, man, like Barkley, I don't think they're stopping them. The Eagles have the better defense. I think the Eagles are going to win the game, which is crazy because the Chiefs are favored by like a point and a half right now. I'm like, I'm taking the Eagles, man. I like all day long. I'm
Yeah.
taking them. So
Yeah. It's all predetermined, man. So you got the Eagles. Do you got Saquon as MVP?
about the Super Bowl, yeah. I mean, they usually give it to the quarterback, so they'll probably Jalen Hurts, but um, I think Barkley, man, best running back in the league right now. And we have Derrick Henry in Baltimore. Derrick Henry was phenomenal this year, but I mean, Barkley was a little better than him. And uh, that's what I'm saying, man. I think the Eagles are going to beat them. No questions asked. I would, if I'm going to bet on it, I'm betting the Eagles. So
Yeah. It's because it's like almost like wrestling. Like the second Roman versus Cody, like you kind of just knew, like even though it was a chance where you should bet on Roman, it's just like this is the one where everybody knows, just bet on this. Everybody's gonna go for the Chiefs, so why not let the Eagles win? So yeah, I definitely got my money on the Eagles too. I think Barkley, I'm a Giants fan, so I think they made a deal with him. Yeah, I know. They made a
they
deal
got
with
rid
him.
of
Like,
Barkley.
look,
That was so dumb to get rid of him, man. He's so dumb.
bro, I like. I'm happy because I'm not the type a guy to be like, oh well, since he went to the Eagles and he's in the fucking Super Bowl, let's burn his jersey. No, I'm very happy for him. I'm glad that he went, on to where he's on. It hurts, but that this is the dumb shit that the NFL really does, man. It's I'm gonna still be tuned in though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Like wrestling, we've known it's predetermined. I mean, I'm 40, and I've known since I was 8. So I mean, that's 32 years. I've known it's predetermined. I enjoy it. I love it. I still watch it. I mean, it's hard for me to get through a full episode of any of it now. Since I've been doing it so long. But I like the Royal Rumble. I'll absolutely watch because that's the most fun pay per view of the year. You don't know who's coming out next the whole time, and there's 2 Royal Rumbles now. There's the women's one, and along with the men's one. So it's the best. The Royal Rumble is the best time in wrestling, I think. So
I'm not gonna lie to you. So I'm the type where I kind of fought because I do a lot of cons. Like tomorrow, I was supposed to be there tomorrow and see you out there in Indianapolis. I'm
yeah,
in
I'll be there
Ohio right now.
Saturday. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna be out there for both nights. I'm like, If he's booking me for if I could book him for Thursday, I see that he's there for Friday and Saturday in Indianapolis. Is there a chance that we can see Ellsworth in the Rumble? Like that'll be fire, bro.
So yeah, I got to do the Royal Rumble in 2017. So I've entered the Royal Rumble. But man, let me tell you, I'm 40 years old. I've been wrestling since I was 17. I've accomplished everything I've wanted to accomplish, right? And then some. And I'm still out here wrestling. I'm still hustling. I run shows, do conventions and everything, like you were saying. But the icing on the cake of my wrestling career, the cherry on top, what absolutely at some point, if it were this year or next year or the year after, would be to be a surprise in the Royal Rumble. And then after that,
Yes.
I think that could be my swan song. I wouldn't stop wrestling. I'll wrestle until the wheels fall off because I just love it so much on the indies. But I'm not content yet. I want one more moment like that. And
Mhm.
when they do the Royal Rumble, today's Wednesday, right? They
Right.
might not call people that, like I think Kelly was telling me when she was a surprise a couple of years ago in the Women's Royal Rumble, and they didn't call her until like the Friday, and the show was Sunday. So you just
You're in
don't.
town, man. I know you stay ready too. You
I
old school, so
I always bring my gear. I'll
I
have my
know
gear
you
with
do.
me. I'll have my gear with me. If they could call me Saturday while I'm at WrestleCon, and I'll have my gear with me, and I'll head right over to the stadium and sneak in, or however they do it, because I've done surprise appearances where they sneak you in, so I know the routine. And
Yeah.
I would love to, man. Of course, and anybody that's in this industry that says they wouldn't, you got to think of it this way. When I was in the Royal Rumble in 2017, the Women's Royal Rumble didn't come out yet. So I was thinking to myself, man, only 30 wrestlers a year get to enter the Royal Rumble. Now, think about how many wrestlers there are all over the world, and only 30 a year get to enter the Royal Rumble. And I got to be one of those 30 that year. So if I ever got another opportunity to do it, my God, that would mean so much to me because I know
Yeah.
how hard it is to get that spot.
Oh yeah.
And, so it's my favorite pay per view. When I did it, it was in San Antonio. I think it was like 54,000 people at the Alamo Dome. And I got a huge reaction when I came out. Is like one of my favorite moments ever. It's my favorite pay per view. I think every wrestling fan, even like wrestling fans, casual wrestling fans or old wrestling fans, like people that haven't watched WWE in like 10 years, if you say, "Hey, come over to my house and let's like watch the Royal Rumble," like, "Oh, I'll watch the Royal Rumble. That's fun." Like people coming out every minute or two. You don't know who's next. Like it's the most fun in the industry.
Mhm.
Is this pay per view? I believe.
It's always been one of my favorites, and it's just like I can see it. Like people don't understand. Like you've done a lot. Like for a person to like compare you to like a Seth Rollins or something, they're gonna be like, no way. But dude, it's so jam packed. But like for the Royal Rumble, I envision you with the biggest fucking pop random ass number fucking 19, the biggest pop for James Ellsworth, man. And yeah, bro. Or like even have Carmella come back and you help her in the women's Royal Rumble, bro. Like there's so much to do with you, bro. But I, either way, man, I would love to see you back in WWE. Just anywhere, bro. If I see you in the next con, I'm definitely gonna run into you, bro. Like you always show love and everything. You're always on the road. You're always doing something. You're always working. You got adrenaline. You got the cons you're doing all the time. You're doing big event in New York in March. With all that going on, James, how's your mental health, brother?
Oh, my dude. So, luckily for me, like we were talking earlier, I grew up in Baltimore and I'm still here. I live right by the airport. I'm in a nice part of it. I grew up in the
Yes.
bad part. And I'm not crying about that, but I really just did. So, I have the thickest skin you've ever seen. Like, I don't let shit bother me, bro. Like, I just don't. And I'm not bragging about that. I'm just being honest and realistic. Like, I don't, and it's a blessing in my life to have this thick skin. I don't let nothing bother me. I don't like beautiful wife. I have my two daughters and they're all healthy and they're all safe and they got a roof over their head and there's food in the fridge. Like that's all I care about. It's like I take care of my family and they're good. Like like in wrestling, you deal with a lot of criticism, you deal with a lot of fabricated bullshit, and like all, and like I don't pay any mind to it. I don't let it bother me, and I just keep going, keep fighting, keep hustling, like, and that's all you can do. You got to ignore the ignorance and keep rolling. So my mental health, honestly, is great, and I'm very fortunate. It is for sure.
Yeah, you're such a like I look at your career now, and I hear a lot of your interviews, and I watch a lot of your work and stuff like that. Like, dude, your career is anybody would want your career. Like I'm talking about anybody, dude. You got over before like Roman Reigns. You had a fucking match with John Cena, AJ Styles. You came in as like a jobber with Braun Strowman. Like, yo, anybody that have your career is blessed, bro. Like,
Oh,
do you ever have a moment where it's like, because I know you do. Like you just sit back and just be like, "Jeez, like I did everything. WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, you
right.
did it all, bro."
Yeah, man. Like, and like it's crazy because I'm 40, and 40 is not old, but it's not young either. You're right, kind of right in the middle. And I'm like, man, I've accomplished everything I could ever dream to accomplish. Am I content? No, I still want to do more, which is crazy because like a guy that's 5'8", not the most cosmetically cleansing guy, 170 pounds. Like I have a little bit of athleticism, but not. I'm not like a ricochet where I can bounce around everywhere. Like for what I've been given by the Lord to work with, I took it and I used it to absolute best of my ability, and I've accomplished a lot, and I've been very blessed, man. Like when I did the match with Strowman, that's just an enhancement talent going in and putting a guy over. But like I was saying earlier, I just kind of stay ready. Like I knew going into that match, I was like, man, I got to do the absolute best I can in this, you know, 90 seconds, because that's all the match was, like a 90 seconds. And I was like,
Right.
I got to sell good. I got to facial expressions, and then they gave me a promo. I was like, I gotta talk. I gotta do every. I said I want to look back on this, and at the time, I thought it was gonna be my only WWE match. I want to look back on this and just know I did a good job. And I remember when the match was over and the 3 count happened. Right away, I thought to myself, like, man, I really feel like I did a good job. I hope they tell me I did a good job because I feel like it. And this is a great story. This is my favorite story. So I get to the back after the match with Strowman, and Arn Anderson, who was the agent for the match, he goes, "Hey man, you made my job easy. That was great." He goes, "Vince wants to see you." And when he said Vince wants to see me, I thought I was going to get yelled at by Vince McMahon because I had walked down the ramp to get in the ring. And when you're in a enhancement talent, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to walk around into the crowd and through like the timekeeper's table and into the ring, not down the ramp. And I walked down the ramp because I just wanted to walk down the ramp. Like I didn't think
Yeah.
I would ever get a chance to do it again. So I thought,
Mhm.
man, he's gonna yell at me for that, and I'm gonna never be allowed here again. Like, oh well. So I'll go and see Vince, and he goes, "Hey, uh, your facial expressions are great. Your selling was great. Your verbiage was great. I have no choice but to hire you. I'll be in touch this week." And
Nice.
I was like, what, huh? And then like and then even then, I would feel like that was crazy that he said that, but I was like, it wasn't real to me till he actually called, and he did. He called,
Right.
he man of his word. So like that was just
Uh,
such a blessing. It was him. He saw something in me, and he just hired me right on the spot. Dude, that's why I never complain about what I've been able to accomplish. It was a blessing, man. Like I see guys, dude, this really gets my nerves. I see like former WWE guys or even talent that's there now go on like X and complain about
oh
how
yeah.
they're being treated or how I'm like, my God, like aren't you getting action figures made of you? Aren't you making a lot of money? Aren't you on TV? Like what? You know what I mean? I don't know. Just my humbled opinion. There's nothing to complain about
You
with
know
it.
what I think it is because and this was another thing I was gonna ask you, because you went in and people might think like you're an overnight sensation. It wasn't the fact that you threw a punch and R. Anderson was like, "Oh, that's your that that looked
Right.
good
Like,
on you,
hey,
bro." Like, yeah, you know what I mean? People don't know that you actually had the work. Guys think like because they got the fucking body of an action figure, they look like a wrestler, but when they go on there, they can't sell to the people. Did you at any point, knowing that you had the skills that you had and you was in the door of WWE just as an enhancement, did that make you feel like bro, this is just a one off. I'm not a Vince McMahon guy. Like, it'll never happen. I don't have the look. I'm around all of these fucking guys that are like 6'7", 6'8", and fucking 300 pounds of muscle. Did that ever like discourage you, or just be like, this
No.
is just a dream that's just gonna end right here? Like, did that just stop before, or like how did that go?
Well, like, so I've been doing wrestling 14 years up until that point. I was in the business 14 years. So I started when I was 17. I was 31 when I had that match with Strowman. And yeah, man, like I always like had this mindset though. If I watch Saved by the Bell, Screech looks different from Mario Lopez, but he had a part, right? So I always looked at it that way. Yeah, 99 out of 100 guys look great. They all look awesome, right? So, but there could be that one guy. There was Colin Delaney. There was Spike Dudley. There was Mikey Whipwreck. There was 1, 2, 3 Kid. There was, but it was always. But you know how you can name all those guys quick? 'Cause there wasn't a lot of them. So but I always thought maybe I could be that guy. Maybe I could be Spike Dudley. Maybe I could be, like a better version of Colin Delaney or a bet, like because they didn't really give Colin too much of a chance. They gave him a chance, but not like, you know, he was like on the fake ECW, I call it. And Colin's a good wrestler, but like, I'm like, man, if I got that opportunity, I think I'd do well at it. I did think that, and I was just given that opportunity, and yeah, it went well. I didn't go through their system, their NXT, and which I would have loved to because they have time and money invested in people that did, and they're getting the best tutelage in the world, and they keep those guys around forever because they do have time and money invested in me. They picked me up off the streets, so they're like, they did, a bunch of stuff with me, and then let me go. Well, yeah, because I'm not their guy, which I understood. It's a business, but yeah, man, like I never. But to answer your question, yeah, did I think that could have been it? For sure. That day, I'm like, man, I want to do really well because this might be my one and only opportunity or chance to be in WWE, and I don't want to look back on it and go, man, that one WWE match I had absolutely sucked. So yeah, I mean, it crossed my mind that might be my only opportunity, but it also crossed my mind that maybe it wasn't. I didn't know. I didn't count myself out, is what I'm trying to say. So,
All right.
uh,
All right. So, you go in, it's a squash match, and then Vince gives you the I'm gonna call you back. So I know at some point in them 2 weeks you was either like that dude is full of shit, or like you was waiting by that phone. When you finally got it and you was in the arena and you started working and everything, and then you seen where they put you, did you walk, because you worked in the Vince McMahon era?
mm,
So did you walk on those eggshells like all the other employees do? Because I interviewed EC3 and he told me he just wasn't confident enough. He didn't feel like he had that access to him, even though he could have, he should have took those steps and those leaps for his career. Did you ever feel like, okay, I'm here and I'm just satisfied, or did you feel like, hey, Vince, like I want this, or like what? How was your experience? Was it eggshells for you?
well, not at first, no, because at first I'm like, he picked me. Vince picked me. I'm in, right? Like he's the one that picked me, so he's the one that hired me. And every time I would do something on TV at first, is when it's just like me and Dean Ambrose, who's now John Moxley, and AJ Styles doing like that whole storyline. I would get to the back of Vince like, man, you're really crushing it. He's like, you're absolute gold. Like he would like give me a lot of compliments, and I'm like, man, this is gold. So when that storyline was over, that's where I was like, uh oh, now what? Because this was great. Like there's nowhere. Like I was pinning the WWE champion. I'm wrestling for the WWE title. I'm in every main event segment. Like there's nowhere to go down from the anywhere to go but down from the main event. So I'm like, what now? And then you know when I first was with Carmella, because that was the next thing, you know, I like for the first month up there was no eggshells, but then it started a little bit because I'm like, man, I don't feel like I'm in the same spot. I love being with Carmella. She's great. Like, but my whole goal with Carmella is, man, if I'm gonna be with her, I want her to win the women's title. That was my whole goal with, because I'm here to help enhance her. That's my job.
Right.
So I was like, I'm gonna do. But at first, it's like, man, we weren't getting those positions at first. We were just kind of like, just maybe we're on the card, maybe we're not. And I'm like, man, this ain't. And then once we won Money in the Bank, then it stopped again. I'm like, all right, we won the Money in the Bank. She's got the Money in the Bank contract. She's going to be champion. And then a month goes by, and I'm like, hmm, do they really need me now with her? That now she has the Money in the Bank contract. They don't really need me, right? So I start like I'm a realist, man. I like
Right.
yeah, I'm like having these thoughts in my head that they didn't need me, and then she like won the she cashed in and won the title. Then they brought me back because she had the title. Then now she has to hold on to it, right?
Right.
So they bring me back to get her to hold on to it, and as soon as they were ready for her to lose the title, they didn't need me anymore. That's me personally. Like so eggshells. I know I was like. I don't know if that call it eggshells. I'm just being realistic about the situation. Every situation I was being realistic
Right.
about. Well, I tried to take it all in and enjoy the whole time, like, and not be job scared because like I was happy to have a job and, no, I never wanted to leave. Who does? But again, I'm a realist. I'm like, I'm not their guy. And I know
Right.
that. And but I'm going to do whatever they give to me to the best of my abilities and hope they give me a call back. That was always my mentality.
All right. So you are a fan of the product, obviously. Still, I'm sure you still watch the product and everything, right?
Yeah.
Uh, you know the sick, twisted mind of Vince McMahon and his lackeys, right?
Mhm.
At any point, did you feel like this is a sick, fucking, twisted joke that he's trying to just like make shit stick on the wall, but I'm gonna make this motherfucker stick? Or did you just feel like it was just like like at some point, like was it reality, like where it was just like because I'm sure at some point when they were putting you out, they knew you was good, but they didn't think you was gonna get over the way you got over, right? Like
Right.
you got
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, so the first like I think red flag for them, from what I'm told, is when the T-shirt was the number one seller.
Exactly.
I'm not supposed to be selling the most T-shirts. That's not
Right.
for me. You know what I mean? That's their mentality. That ain't for me. And so when that happened, I think they were like, hey, that's when they turned me heel afterwards. You know what I mean? They slowed it down, and that's how, And again, I'm not mad at them for it. I'm not their guy. I'm not the guy they have time and money invested in. Those are the NXT guys. So
But it's business, right?
y-
Like, how could you be as good as you are, right? Because I remember watching you, and of course, I'm a fan, so I could be like, bro, I fucking like, why do they have them on there? And then it's like every week, it's like that. You were like that one fucking summer jam that everybody fucking hated, but by the end of the summer, everybody was singing
yeah,
the fucking
yeah.
song.
Everybody's like, you know what? That is kind of catchy. Yeah, yeah.
But
And
that but that is the psychology. Why is it that they can throw shit on the wall and they and shit that they'll do like they'll fuck up on a Gender Mahal or something like that, and they'll try to shove them down our throats like the Roman Reigns, and it's not sticking. But they give you and like fucking our truth and all of these guys that are not supposed to be here, and we're looking at y'all like that's the form of entertainment. Y'all put the E in the WWE. That's the entertainment part. Why is it do you that you think that when you guys do your job and it's not what they want, they bury you?
right, like for me personally, I don't know. Like with our truth, they don't really bury him, and but he's in great shape. He looks like he did 20 years ago, and he's athletic. So that's their guy. That he has what they want: the athleticism and the good physique, and like all that. So they'll keep him around forever. But like with me, yeah, I'm just again like it goes back to I'm just not what they're looking for. So even though if they would give me something like I would crush it. The reactions were there. That's what this business is supposed to be, is getting the reactions from the crowd and entertaining the crowd and getting them to make noise. And I personally, and anybody can go watch any SmackDown I was on. I personally accomplished that, whether I was a babyface or a heel, because I cared to. I see people come
Exactly.
out now. I won't name any names. Like I'm not a stooge, but like I see people come out now on SmackDown or Raw. Like there's some, not. I mean, most people get reactions these days. They're doing a great job of that. But there are some that don't. Like the last week on SmackDown, there was this particular talent that came out and got like no reaction, and this person's been there for 4 or 5 years. I'm like, why is this person still here? Like that does go through my head. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like they need to either try something different, but why would they try something different when they're just on TV all the time anyway and nobody's saying anything? Like I'm like,
Yeah,
everybody should get reactions from the crowd. Everyone, there should be
yeah,
nobody not getting reactions to me, man. Like, and I care. Like I just cared about getting the reactions, and they give me some things that most of the stuff they gave me was great. The stuff with AJ and Moxley and the stuff with Carmella, that was all great stuff. And so the tail end of Carmella and I the first time before they brought me back and I got her through Asuka through the summer of 2018. But right before then, they had her like put me in a dog leash and all that, and I knew that was bad. I'm like, this sucks. All right, I was like,
yeah,
this. And I don't know why they did that. They were trying to do like shock TV or whatever it was, but you know, 2019 WWE, like, and everybody brings that year up. It was rough to watch. Like, and Vince had been doing TV for over 40 years. Maybe he was bored. Maybe he's just. You
yeah.
got to think of it that way. He did so much great stuff with Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold Steve Austin and John Cena and all these guys, right? That made these guys super mega stars. The Rock, like, and at some point it might have became boring to him. I don't know. I don't mock Vince McMahon
Oh,
too much because he's the one who gave me the opportunity, and he's the greatest wrestling promoter of all time. But yeah, maybe he got bored, man. Like, but like
I
you
what
just
I personally believe, James, was that not only did he get bored, like when you have real life action figures, and like I said, the shit on the wall, like there's I don't know if it's me as a fan that I look out because I'm watching all you guys' interview and I'm listening to it. Like Vince wants to haze you guys almost in a sense to see how far can he push you guys. What can you do where I can humiliate you and make money from it? How can you take this and make it? How can you take shit and making it into a tuna fish sandwich? You know what I mean? And I feel like with some guys, he really wants to break them, and like with other guys, you know what I mean, he's happy that they don't break and stuff like that. But yeah, there was a time where it was like Vince was like, I just figured like he knew the outcome that was about to happen, and he was just trying to tarnish the fuck out of WWE before he left. Like a
well,
big fuck you, and I'm out. Like so, because there's no excuse why you're not an NXT coach teaching the psychology of the
I
facial expressions to care and do that. That matters, bro.
I don't think they look at me like that or understand. Like I had a great um trainer and coach. Like and he didn't get looked at. Like my trainer was Axel Rotten, who was in ECW, and he had a great mind for the business, but he very underrated mind, never got looked at like that because he did like the death matches and the hardcore and stuff. But he had a great mind, so he didn't get looked at like me. They just look at me like, oh, this kid was entertaining, and we kind of used him for a while. Like I could definitely be a coach or a producer. I could if they gave
Sure.
me if they said here's 2 weeks. Let's see what you got. Let's see if you can actually do this. I think I would blow their minds. I really do. Like I just this is all I've been doing since I was 17 years old, is this wrestling stuff. And I've done it as a wrestler, as a manager a wrestler on TV, a manager on TV. I've done it as a promoter for over 15 years now. Like I still love to learn about it and get as much knowledge as I possibly can, which is the best trait to have because if you think you know it all, then you're not going to learn anything else. But I love to learn new things. When I learn something new that I know I could use, I get excited. Like, I'm still very passionate about it. Yeah. Like, and yeah, but they don't, I don't, they're not looking at me like that. Like, I get it.
Oh, bro, but
I
you got to
feel
look
it.
at it like this,
Yeah.
James. Come on, let's be real, bro. If they weren't looking at you somewhat as a as that type of status of a wrestler. Maybe not looks, or maybe not, I want to put him in the main event or some shit. But dude, you went against John fucking Cena,
Hmm.
CM Punk. You went against fucking Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles. You beat AJ Styles 3 times out of 4 times, bro. That to me, especially with no NXT or no, none of their boot camps or anything, that's some type of trust because you're not just fighting, you're not on the road with it. You're not doing these like live shows. They trusted you enough to put you in those predicaments with those people to enhance those talents. So at some point they had to think like, yo, this
Well,
is this is good.
they knew I was good enough to do those like, and I did every house show when I was there 2016, 17, and 18. I did every house show, which was so fun. They don't do that now, man. They like we had house shows 3 4 days a week every week. They don't do
Yeah,
that now. They don't do that now. They have house shows maybe once a month. They'll have a couple of days of house shows, but that's how you get better and learn is doing the house shows. I loved going to work and doing the house shows and but yeah, like to your point, yeah, they did have to trust me to get in the ring with those guys and not, super kick AJ in the teeth and knock his teeth out. Like, they trust me enough to, for those positions. But I don't know. Like, I feel like they don't look at me as like, here's a guy we should bring back and make him a producer. Which, to me, my goal for the next 20 years in wrestling is like do what I did with Carmella. I was Carmella's manager essentially, and I feel like I did very well at that. She before I was with her, she was like wrestling Nikki Bella and losing all the time and like not getting looked at seriously. And I helped her and I
yeah,
didn't do it all myself because she's very talented, but I helped her get to that next level where she was winning the Money in the Bank, then ultimately became the champion. And I'm like, and because I cared enough. Like it wasn't about me. Okay, I'm in this position to help her. I need to dress like her. I need to talk about how great she is. It's not about me right now. It's about her. And then in the middle here and there, like I would get spots with John Cena, and I get to do WrestleMania, and I get to do the spot at the Money in the Bank that'll never be forgotten. And like so I had my moments with when I was with her, but it was about her. Like, and that's what a good manager does is they enhance
hmm,
the person they're
exactly.
with. And like if you look at Jimmy Hart, he gets those jackets made with the people he's managing's logo or face or what, like because he's enhancing them.
Yeah,
And that's what a great like I see managers on TV now. They're not really getting ahead because they're trying to get themselves over and not
exactly.
right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not how you do it. So for me, that's
You,
where I
you,
see my character going is doing that. And I
you
love
worked the
doing it.
heel weasel, I mean, you had everything, the gimmick, the look, like you had the catchphrase, the duh, like you just had that heat to
Mhm.
bring to the table. And then it's like you looking at this beautiful fucking bad woman, and then it's like this dude, why is he with her? Yo, bro,
Yeah.
it's all psychology. Like
Yeah.
I'm as a fan, I'm looking at it, I respect it. But before you became the woman's Money in the Bank winner, the intergender champion, before you was in WrestleMania, Royal Rumbles, before you even touched the WWE scene, before you was James Ellsworth, you was Jimmy fucking Dream. Jimmy Dreams, bro, like the motherfucking pretty handsome athlete. Tell me why you didn't bring that character and develop him in WWE.
Well, James Ellsworth was pretty much pretty Jimmy Dream without the he's acting pretty mystique, but like I still acted the same. Like other than I wasn't play I had long hair back in those days. I wasn't playing with my hair, I wasn't wearing mascara or fishnets, but I was still acting the same. I was still acting like I'm way cooler than I am. That's all pretty Jimmy Dream was. Like obviously I'm not a pretty guy and that's the heat. Like why is this guy calling himself pretty? Has he looked in the mirror? Like but I still like when I'm James Ellsworth, I'm with Carmella and I'm hanging out with this hot chick, and I'm like, yeah, you see what I'm doing? This is my girl. She loves me, and they're like, nah, man, she's just using you. I'm like, whatever. She loves me. Like that's still what I was doing on the indies. Like act like delusional. Like just there's
Yeah.
illusion with these characters. Like he really thinks he's something. And then it's funny, man. Like I know I'm just playing a character. So some people like they'll well, oh man, he's really full of himself. No, it's just a character I'm playing. Like I know what it is, and but it's you'll be surprised on how many people really like not fans is fine. I want fans to think I'm that way, but like people in the business and around the business like really think
Yeah.
you're like that. It's so funny, man. Like it's so crazy, but no, Jimmy Dream was essentially the same as James Ellsworth, other than a little bit more colorful with the hair and the mascara and the fishnets and all this stuff I used to wear. So.
Yeah. All right. So you saying like in the back, like guys is looking at you because I know what you're talking about, bro. Like in every lane, in every bit of success, you're gonna have that one guy that just doesn't like you, and he doesn't even like you. He doesn't even know why he doesn't like you.
Right,
Like
right,
he's just gonna walk by you. I'm from the Bronx, so I've looked at dudes, for fucking years that I have problems with, and I just don't know why we have problems. We just
right.
don't know why we have
Yeah,
problems. You
yeah.
know
I
what I mean?
feel you on that, bro. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I'm sure in this, because people forget that wrestlers are bodybuilders. This all started off of bodybuilding. Bodybuilders are the most insecure, fucking diva entitled bitch ass motherfucker.
Mm.
So I'm sure when they see they're 6'5", they're handsome, got the sex appeal, got all of this, they're training hard, what I mean, all of this, and then they just see you skipping the line. I'm sure there's been some roid rage. Somebody had a roid rage with you. Somebody wanted to be stiff with you in the ring. Could you give me one hater, bro? Just, I know you politically correct. This is not for the weak. Just give me one hater, bro.
So, I'll, I'm figuring out how to answer this. I'm gonna like so any job you work at, right? You're gonna have your people that you like and you get along with that you're gonna be friends with the rest of your life, and then you got some people who you don't like that don't like you for no reason. Like I got along with essentially everybody. I remember at first, and this guy and I are cool now. At first, like Baron Corbin didn't get me. He was like,
Oh,
"What? Like
I
this?"
love him.
Like, yeah, I get along with him great. And this,
Yeah, I
so
love
he's you
him.
got to think he's really new, kind of to the business at this time,
Yeah.
and like he would tell people like, "Oh man, this
Ah, you got a call. Ah, no. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
yeah, yeah, I can hear you."
All right, perfect. I thought, okay. So Baron Corbin was not. He looks a little where he might be a little tough to, first impressions.
Oh yeah, well, so he was just new to the business, and he's only been in a couple years at that point. He just didn't understand why I didn't go through NXT, and I had came up there. But then after a while, man, we became cool, and he got it. He understood it. Like and it was just from guys telling him, like, "Nah, man, like this is." And I always used to tell him, like, "Dude, you're gonna be here longer than me. Like, you went through their system." But no, I'm not calling him a hater. He like I'm just saying that was one incident where at first he I don't think he liked me, and we
Yeah.
wound up becoming real cool. And he started. Dude, I loved watching his progress on TV. Like when he was doing like the Happy Corbin stuff and the King Corbin. If you
Oh
remember,
yes.
like
I love the
he,
bum ass Corbin. Oh
yeah,
my
that's
god.
everybody's favorite. Like he understood the business, and he didn't at first. So it was so cool seeing that progression. But yeah, that was like one at first he didn't get it. Like and but again, we became cool after that. So
I can see that. Like, not saying that, not everybody's a hater. You know what I mean? I just said it because that's my language, but, people are misunderstood. They might think that, you're feeling some type of way or anything like that, but it is what it is. I mean, I know one guy that probably gets it from a lot of guys. I'm a big fan of him. I know you are a big fan of him, but he destroyed the whole SmackDown team with a list.
oh, Jericho.
My man Jericho destroyed ya with a list, man.
Dude, the bell was the best.
How, bro? Oh my god, that gimmick, because Jericho he repackages himself every what 2 3 years.
Oh yeah.
I think the list was the best just ever. How hard was it for you to keep your fucking composure on that one, bro?
So honestly, that wasn't hard. Like people probably want me to go, "Oh man, how did you hold in your laughter?" Like I'm a professional, so what he was saying was very funny, and I didn't know what he was going to say. That was the cool part. But like now, like for me to keep my composure was easy, just because I know how to do it. But like when I
Mhm.
got to the back, I grabbed him, and I was laughing with him about. It. I'm like, dude, that was. I was like, man, you are who you are because of moments like that. And
Yeah.
me being put on the list on Monday Night Raw there, that somebody brings that up to me every single day of my life. I am not kidding. Like I'll be on TikTok or whatever, and people are like, "You just made the list." That like
Just made the list.
I think that
He
was the
said,
best.
He said somebody's child is missing.
Yeah, he's
What is
like,
this,
it's like,
Chince McMahon? Oh
uh,
my
you know,
god!
the Chins McMahon thing in the arena didn't get that big of a reaction. I'm like, that was pretty fun. Why did they not like they were like laughing at the when he said we have a lost child at ringside. Will somebody please come get him right now? Like they were laughing at that, and I'm like, the Chins McMahon thing to me was funny. Like I don't know, but no, that's like me and Chris are cool, man. Like he's still doing his thing. I think he's at the
Yeah, he's a
tail end.
god, man. He's a
Mhm.
god on and off that ring, bro. Like I love Chris Jericho, like Fozzy.
Got
I
to
love
right.
him. Yeah, man. He's just like, bro. He's awesome.
Mhm.
Like I think Chris Jericho is top three, and people don't even understand. Like, you get to work with everybody, bro. Like, who was your favorite in ring, bro? Because like you've been in there with. All right, you know what? Take this back. You've been in the ring with John Cena, Ambrose, everybody, right? That's
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
We all know the Braun. We all know the Carmella. We all, whatever. What was your best match that you can tell everybody to go check out right now on Adrenaline or anything that could put, if you could put your fans on to any match to go see of you, what would it be?
Oh, that's a great question. 'Cause I've had so many of them.
That's
Um,
not WWE. I don't want
yeah,
no
right, right.
WWE.
That's a fantastic question. I'm trying to think. Because there's so many good ones. Like just
Trust me,
fun.
I've checked a lot of your highlights out.
Yeah, I'm trying. Man, off the top of my head, any match will have a guy named Sickened at ACW. Look that up. Those are good. Like any of my intergender matches, like like me versus Penelope Ford, or me versus Shotzi Blackheart, or me versus Thunder Rosa or Emma. Yes, I wrestled all these girls. Um, like just check those are entertaining. Any intergender match, I mean, I would say that because that was when I left WWE and I was doing the intergender title stuff. That was my favorite time on the Indies ever because and all these girls that Thunder Rosa, Tessa Blanchard, Penelope Ford. Um, I mean,
You're so lucky, bro. I'm hazing right now, bro.
well,
Like you got
Shotzi
to work
Blackheart,
with all of these women.
they all winded up getting signed somewhere. And like, I'm not saying I had anything to do with that, but it's just cool that like I'm just saying maybe I was picking the right girls to wrestle, because I wrestled them all before they got signed anywhere. And like I just saw every time I had like a little list of girls I wanted to wrestle that I put on Twitter, and a bunch of them hit me up. Oh, I'd love to work with you, but all that. And yeah, like I think I picked the right ones because they, like I said, a bunch of them wound up getting signed. Shotzi,
Yeah.
Penelope, Thunder, they all got signed.
I mean,
Tessa.
it's not a coincidence, bro. You are around greatness. So, everything that's around you becomes great because you are like people don't know how great you are in and around the ring. Like you go out there and you go to all these cons and you actually interacting with all your fans, bro. Like you didn't have to
Oh yeah.
talk to me for an extra 10
I don't.
minutes that big event. When you go out and you're still wrestling at 40 and you're putting your body on the line and you're really giving us the facial expressions and who you are, man. That's because you're great. So the people around you that you're wrestling like Shotzi and all of these other fantastic talents,
Oh,
it's
Gigi
not a
Dolan, I
coincidence.
wrestled when she was Priscilla Kelly. I wrestled her. I lost the intergender
Yeah,
title
bro.
to her. That's who I lost it to, was her. Finally, after a year, I lost it to her. And she went on to get signed like maybe months after. Like not yeah, like months. It was like maybe 2 months after. Like it's so crazy.
So whenever we do like the entertaining business and we're married, because I know you're married, I'm married,
Mhm.
it's always an issue, with the wife at home. It's always you're gonna be around other bitches, and there's always
Oh
some
yeah.
extra shit, right? You were around some fire female talent that no average women, no woman is gonna actually be okay with you taking a hurricanrana from any of these women. So um like is that like an issue? Is that like oh, you just came back with the intergender title and you just beat the hell out of Shotzi and gave her a power bomb or something? Does your wife look at you like, mm-hmm,
Well, no, because we've been married since 2022, so 2 years
congratulations?
now. And no, like she trusts me, and like I like, dude, I'm the best version of myself now, so she really trusts me now. Like, I've really at 40 with my daughters, my wife, I've really calmed down and just like she knows she has nothing to worry about. So I, not like, but when I'm doing that intergender title thing and we're not married yet, of course she's gonna be like, you good out there?" And like,
Yeah,
and no, I was like with the girls I was wrestling, I was always professional, and like you don't
of
see any
course,
girls that I've wrestled with say anything otherwise, unless
of course. Nah,
but
but it's just you would always because I'm picturing Dom Mysterio's wife.
right, right.
She must be going fucking crazy, bro. Like, so I would figure like that's kind of like a hassle or anything like that. But I just want to let you know, man. They paired Carmella with a couple cats,
Mhm.
and it's between you and Truth, man. I mean, Truth is a god, and anything he does,
Well,
protect
but like
Truth and
our
all.
truth when okay, so I don't mean to cut you off, but yeah, once you with our truth, right? Like it was more about truth. Like it wasn't about her. She like he wasn't helping her win the title, or they like she wasn't
Yeah,
even. She has not won the women's title since I left. The what like the WWE, like what I mean.
talk to him.
Like, so when they put her with our truth, that was entertaining and fun. They're doing the dance thing. That's what people remember about that's the dance thing. And then they put her with the guy Reggie, and that accumulated to nothing. And that guy's, he should be like he's very athletic, and he should be doing his own thing, really. So yeah, like I think more people remember her and I together, and I'm not saying it because it's me. Like our truth's way more popular than me. Like I'll always admit that. I just feel like when I was with her, it was more about her, and that's why it worked. Like, and these other guys with Truth, like I think more people were invested in him, and rightfully so. He's just like the most entertaining guy on the show. And then with Reggie, it just didn't work, and nobody's fault.
Yeah,
It just didn't work.
he was just
So,
really too good, man. Like, I just like you're right. Like you enhanced her where it was just like Truth was, Truth, and then the Reggie situation. But like, yeah, man, like you just made it work, brother. Like you just made it work. The you almost died, bro. I watched it when it was actually happening, and I was like, oh shit. So the Styles class incident
hmm
when you almost like took a really bad like was that just miscalculation? Was that
on
like
my
a
on my
oops?
part, like I was more nervous in that match than any other match I've been in my life because I thought the world of AJ Styles, and at the time he's the WWE champion and he's the best wrestler in the world at the time. And even though it's like smoke and mirrors, they're having me beat him, and I was just like so nervous. And like when he hooked me for it, I was ready because like you take that move different than any other move. Every other move you take in wrestling, you tuck your chin. That's the one move where you don't. Right, and when you're used to tucking your chin for 20 years or however long it's been, close to 20 years at the time, and so he hooked me and I'm ready. And I don't know, like he took an extra second just to make sure he had me good, and that's what actually saved me from breaking my neck. And I was like, what's he doing? And I like moved my head, and that's when he went, and I was not ready.
Ooh,
I so
yeah.
what I should have did differently is just when you take that move, you do nothing. You just do nothing. And instead of doing nothing like I should have, and that's my mistake, and that's my fuck up, and I own up to it. I moved my head, and I absolutely shouldn't have moved my head at all, and just let him do it. The second time, the second time he gave it to me, and this is, he trusted me to take it again. He gave it to
Mhm.
me off the steps onto the floor. There's video of that. Nobody ever brings that up. Like he did it even more dangerous to me the second time, and that one went fine. It was,
Yeah.
and then he did it, to me on some house shows, and we never had that problem again. But if you look up seven deadliest Styles clashes on YouTube, you'll see Roderick Strong taking it that way, Steven Richards taking it that way, Low Key, Corey Graves, Christopher Daniels, all these amazing wrestlers did the same thing I did, but they didn't do it on SmackDown. They did it on Ring of Honor or TNA or in Japan, so not as many people see it, but they all did the same thing. Like, and and if you
Yeah.
look at, go on seven deadliest Styles clashes, you'll see it all.
I'd seen that and I was like, holy shit, like that was like a real close call. What
Oh
was
yeah.
another close call for you that you thought like, bro, I don't know how I'm here.
Yeah, the Royal Rumble 2017 when Strowman threw me out. Remember seeing that bump?
It's been a minute, but I gotta catch up on that one.
So this one wasn't my fault. He's supposed to throw me. He's supposed to have my feet over the ropes and then throw me. He threw me from the ring, so my feet hit the top rope, and I had to brace myself and take a bump from the ring to the floor. Like I took a bump, knocked the wind out of me. That could have went wrong, and it didn't. I was fine. I got the wind knocked out of me, and I was sore the next day, but I was fine. Like but that was scary. If you go watch it back, it's pinned in my TikTok videos. If you go back and watch that, that was absolutely insane.
Yeah,
So
man, it's always scary. Like people don't understand. Like it could just happen at any given point, man. Like I know you know the draw situation where D'Lo gave him the power
yeah,
bomb.
dude, nothing went wrong there. Nobody did anything wrong.
Nope.
It was just a freak thing where he just hit his head and his neck just snapped. Like that was normal. Like the move. Like I've watched that several times where it gave him the lowdown and that like D'Lo did nothing wrong. Draws even didn't
Yeah,
hit.
and that's the scariest part that people don't remember. Like you could get punched in the face and lose your life. Like more like get connected to Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Oh my shit! Of course, it comes back when we're done. Like people, you could get punched in the face and you could die, bro.
Yeah.
And like wrestlers, you guys are doing high flying
Dude,
shit, and like even just like the JD Madonna thing where the dude broke a rib and punctured his lung and stuff. You know what I mean? What was your worst injury?
man,
I
you know
know
what
you got a
sucks, and I
couple. It's
won't.
been
My least favorite injury is, and like I won't show you because I hate it. I've had a bunch of my teeth knocked out, and I hate that. I hate it. But I've broken this hand, right, and then I wrestled through it with a cast. Like this was like when I was in the late 2000s. So got the cast off, everything's good. 3 months later, broke the other hand. So that was annoying. Like in the same
oh
year,
my god, bro.
I broke both hands. So I've broke both hands. I've got a bunch of teeth knocked out. I've tore my rotator cuff, but I've wrestled through it all. I've been like to me, these are minor injuries because I wrestled through
Yeah,
them all.
your body's so calloused, so it's like you gotta go through it. How you gonna get
Oh,
paid,
dude,
right?
it's a scary thing, man. Like wrestling is very, very dangerous, and people don't understand it. Like with JD McDonough, man, you know what I was thinking? Because he's such a talented wrestler, right? And when he did that the other day, I'm like, man, look, man, like you're a heel, just don't do the moonsault because nobody's doing a moonsault. So if you're a heel, just don't do it. If you're just being a heel and pulling hair and raking eyes and scraping backs and cheating and you don't have to do the moonsault when you're a heel. You don't. That's just my humble opinion, right? You just don't
Yeah,
have to do it. And if you don't put yourself in that situation, it's not you're not going to get hurt. It's very it's that's awesome that he can do a springboard. I can't do that, but
yeah,
just if you're a heel and you're dirty doms on your team, right? Like just be heels. Like, don't do that.
yeah. Like EC3 and I tell you, like it's people are just about like the wow right there and then
Right.
like when you take out a lot of the stuff that EC3 was doing where he took out moves and you couldn't do certain shit, you build that you build that anticipation up for this to happen. And yeah, man, like that it sucked, but I also see it as him coming back, having some momentum behind
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
now we're
Yeah.
gonna love him for that. You know what I
Oh
mean?
no, yeah,
So
like he's got the sympathy, and he's a great wrestler. He should come back as a baby face now, like and maybe try to fight maybe they replace him in the Judgment Day, and he comes back, and they don't want him back, and because he got injured, and there's sympathy there. Hopefully, they tell a story like that. He's a great wrestler. That's why he's there. But I'm like, in my mentality, it's just my humble opinion. There's no right or wrong. When you're a heel, just do don't do those high risk maneuvers because nobody's gonna boo them, So
yeah.
just stay away from them, man. That's all.
Before we get up out of here, the WWE and I guess the wrestling world alone is just good in jokes and in getting ribbed and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'm sure that you was in that mix. You was friends with Randy. All the guys that do this shit. I'm sure you heard the fucking joke about you not tucking your chin with the AJ Styles thing. I'm sure. What was like a good joke or rib that you got in the WWE or just in general, on the road?
I mean, not like everybody's pretty professional. So like that hazing and all doesn't. There's really none of that there now. Um, no, when I didn't tuck my chin, they were just all making sure I was okay. Honestly, and then
You didn't
JBL
even
was like,
joke.
JBL did JB. I love JBL, man. So we me and JBL are like we still talk.
I
And
seen. I just had something
oh yeah, he showed up my
like
indie
two, three
show.
weeks ago.
Yeah, he had to clothesline me. You know, he did that to me. But he was like, I thought you were dead. I thought you were dead. I'm like, no, I was okay. He was like, no, I just thought you were dead. And he just kept saying, I thought you were dead. And I like, to a point where I was like, oh, he's joking. Like,
Hmm.
I thought that was pretty funny. And I always told people, I don't really have a chin to tuck. So I don't know why you're saying, why did I tuck my chin? Like, I don't have a chin to tuck. What do you mean? That's why I'm
That's
okay.
hilarious. Yeah,
But dude, hats off to AJ Styles. He did save my life. And I will always appreciate that he did that. So,
yeah.
best wrestler in the world at the time. So,
All right, man. Well, listen, brother. I appreciate you. Just know that in the entertainment world, when you're great, sometimes the machine doesn't want you around right now because you're too great. I feel like there's always going to
I
be
know
a
exactly what you
lane.
mean.
Yeah, there's going to be a lane for you, bro, because I see it, bro. Like not as the character James Ellsworth. I'm talking about as the person you are, the hustler you are, just your story, the way you move, brother. Like I respect it
I
all.
appreciate
Please
that, man.
continue. I know that in some way, whenever they bring you back and then they hear that pop, whether it's gonna be a Royal Rumble, and they hear when you come back and they hear that loud ass reaction, bro. I'm telling you, that's gonna be your moment, bro, and you're
I
gonna get it.
appreciate it.
I'm
I
putting
hope
that out
so.
there because you deserve it, bro. It even though it's the 30th, 2025. Let me just know your New Year's resolution for 2025, James.
Um, so my actually was to get into better shape, which I have. So I'm not trying to get
Nice.
ripped or nothing, but getting at 40, I want to be in better shape than I was at 39, and I'm like on this diet that's working. So that was it. That's just simple as that. You know.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate your time, brother. I appreciate everything that you do. Respect to you and your family. I hope you get everything you want. Is there a possibility I could get a drop from you? Just
Sure.
basically, not for the week, whatever, whatever. Hold on. Let me solo you in. Solo layout. There you go, brother.
All right. So just like say, no, not for the
Yeah,
week.
yeah, this is
Not for the
James
week.
Ellsworth, not for the week. Duh. However you do, whatever you want.
Okay, cool. All right, here I go. It's your boy James Ellsworth, the man to beat AJ Styles, not once, not twice, but three times the real winner of the first ever women's Money in the Bank ladder match. And you are listening to Not for the Weak. Duh.
My dude. I very much appreciate it again, bro. We're gonna do this again, bro. Remember my face. I know I look dark in here. I
No,
was
you
supposed
look
to meet you
great.
tomorrow or Saturday. I'm gonna be at the big event. I'll go check you out. I'm gonna have a couple action figures
Hell yeah.
ready for you, brother. So thank
I'll
you,
see you then.
and I'll get with you, man.